Hey everybody, today's video is a haul video. It's my 2020 perfume bottle haul. And I wanted to do this because, let's face it, we're 6 months into this 2020 year and it's, as far as years go, it's been a complete clusterfuck. The one positive has been that because of isolation and social distancing and spending a lot of time at home, I have self-medicated with a lot of online retail therapy. I am going to just go through all the bottles I've added to my wardrobe in 2020, which is probably one of the few things that have made me feel good about 2020. And let's face it, you know, shiny new perfume bottles, especially to us perfumistas and fragrance lovers out there, is one of the best feelings. Unboxing, unwrapping the cellophane and smelling that sprayer for the first time. I'm just going to go through everything I've bought in 2020. Now, interestingly, if you'd asked me how many bottles I've added to my wardrobe this year, I probably would have guessed, 6 or 7. In fact, when I've collected all of these bottles for this video, and I do have a couple of very, very recent additions, it was 14 bottles. So 14 bottles in 6 months, and my goal at the beginning of the year of reducing my bottle wardrobe is completely out the window. So let's start with my first couple of purchases. The first one is Tolu from Almond Jane. This one here I've not reviewed yet, and I haven't reviewed a lot of these fragrances yet just because I want to wear them a bit more, try to test them out a bit more often. Tolu for me is, despite being named after Tolu, the balsam, the ingredient, is one of the most beautiful, creamiest white floral orange blossom scents. Especially for warm weather, I find this works really, really well. I bought this in the middle of our summer, and I'm very happy to have it in my collection. But mind you, this fragrance has opened up a whole Almond Jane rabbit hole for me. The other one I got in summer as well, and I actually don't remember what spurred me on. Oh yes, it was recommended to me by one of my subscribers and followers on Instagram, who highly recommended this as a great summer staple pretty much. And this one here is Guerlain Homme. This is the Eau de Parfum. This one is the Mojito kind of accord in the opening, mint, lime. There's vetiver, and I tell you what, this is one that wasn't an instant wow, but there was nothing better to wear in the heat of summer this year. I love it. I love it. This is pretty much going to be my summer staple. This next one was from L'Artisan. I have done a review on this because I had worn this previously, but it took me a while to make a decision about buying it, but I think with this one, when I saw that they still had the older bottles available and at a very good price, I can't pass up a good leather, especially when it's got the twists and turns that L'Artisan's Zing has. This is, you know, like a slightly animalic leather in the opening, but then there's this lovely sweetness. I love the musks in here. The dirty musks in the base of Zing is what it's all about for me. Okay, so the next one was a pretty much my number one patchouli wish list scent that I first tried last year when I was in Italy, and I always regretted not getting a bottle while I could have there, so I had to wait till these were available here in Australia, and as soon as they were, I snapped up a bottle of Patchouli Nobile by Nobile 1942. Nobile, I don't know. This is, at the moment, pretty much my favorite patchouli. There is kind of a lovely earthiness and darkness to this patchouli. It doesn't really give me a lot of that sort of green, sort of sharp mintiness that other patchoulis can. But it's underpinned by some nice resinous, smoky notes as well, and it has a very good performance. My next one was a spur of the moment buy. Now, there is one store here that stocks this house, which I had never heard of before. I was on a Facebook group. Someone mentioned that these were on sale, like at a very good price, a lot cheaper than they would normally retail for. And also this one came very highly recommended. The reviews were very good on it. This one is from Anat Fritz, and this one's called Classical. And this one here was a complete blind buy, and I have to admit it was a spur of the moment buy. I never would recommend just buying something based on a couple of good reviews and a very good price, but this totally worked out for me, and I was completely surprised by it, to be honest, because the dominant, wow, there is one of the best vetiver notes in this fragrance that I've ever smelled, and I love it because it is a really earthy, nutty vetiver. It's almost like peanut. There is a peanut-like kind of facet to this vetiver, but it's blended then with lavender. It's vetiver and lavender are the two dominant notes on this, and I've got to say, whenever I wore this, I almost was surprised by how much I enjoyed wearing this. It's still around. They're not overly expensive, but definitely, if you can, check out Classical by Anat Fritz. All right, so the next one is from Molinard. This was one of my scents of the month earlier this year. Habanita. There we go. Get it in a good light. This is the more recent Eau de Parfum version. I haven't smelt any vintages of this one. Oh, this I have to before I review this, have to work out this mastic note that is listed here is dominant to my nose, and I'm guessing that it's the mastic because it's not a note that I have identified in any of my other fragrances before, but it definitely really reminds me of something else, and I love it. It gets powdery. Some guys might find it a bit feminine. There is a bit of dirtiness in it. It's a very old world, classic vintage style fragrance, but it still packs a punch. I love it. It's very sexy, Habanita. Now this one here was my little kind of birthday gift to myself this year. Traditionally, every year on my birthday, I usually get myself a new bottle of fragrance. I sampled this late last year, and I didn't think much of it. And with each wearing, new things would reveal itself to me whenever I wore it. And in the end, I chose to buy this as my gift because I fell in love with it completely. And it's my first Chanel exclusive. This is Boy. A new modern take, I guess, by Olivier Polge on Fresh Fougere. Wow. Lavender based again. If you haven't already noticed, this year has been the year of lavender for me. Pretty much lavender, patchouli, as you'll see coming up, and vetiver to some extent. But all I'll say about this, without getting into too much detail, is that on my skin there's so much development with Chanel Boy and so much enjoyment. I did not, I liked every phase of its development on my skin. Okay, so I'm going to group these guys together because these were also part of my extended birthday gift to myself. There was one fragrance that I've been wanting to try for a very long time, and unfortunately, there are no retailers in Australia, and pretty much the only way I can buy these or try these are through Lucky Scent. But I realized that I could order direct from the house itself, and I decided to purchase a 30ml bottle of New York Intense, but to make it worthwhile with the shipping and everything and currency conversion, I decided to buy another 30ml, and this was a blind buy, and I ended up getting a bottle of Patchouli Intense. And as much as I really liked New York Intense, I love Patchouli Intense. In fact, it was like number 2 on my current top 10 fragrances. That's how much it was an instant love for me. And I got to say, the customer service, this is just, going off the track a bit, the customer service of Nikolai online, their web store, they throw in a great amount of samples and you just get treated really well. I would have no hesitation buying direct from Nikolai anytime I wanted to get one of their fragrances. Another one that lingered from testing in Italy last year that I nearly bought on the spot as well. And again, I waited for this brand to be available in Australia. This one here is from Santa Maria Novella. This is Opoponax. The best way I can describe this is, I actually will steal this description from someone who wrote it in one of the reviews on Fragrantica. This is classic Italian barbershop, like it's barbershop but specifically Italian. I don't know. I don't know if there's a better description of it, and when I review it, I'll go into more detail about what I smell. And clearly, it's named after the main ingredient, which is Opoponax, but there is something just so masculine and classical about this fragrance that you can't help but love. Okay, so next 2 were literally bought because they were such bargains, and I did actually, these are the ones where I always had an intention of getting a bottle eventually, just never got around to it, and I couldn't pass up how cheap these were. These were being discounted very heavily in our local discount fragrance pharmacy. First one is Guerlain Vetiver. I always was going to get a bottle of this, but I couldn't pass it up this time round at the prices that they were selling. I won't go into what this smells like because it's so well known. The other one is almost just as well known, and I have wanted for a while. I sampled something a long time ago actually, and was always so impressed by how much I enjoyed wearing it, even though it's a feminine marketed fragrances. This is the current version and it's the only one I've smelled, but I really love this. This is Rochas Fun. The one that was redone by Olivier Cresp. I love it. It's beautiful. It's still, I don't get a lot of the cumin that other people get in this one. I still find this to be a gorgeous chypre in the style of things like Mitsuko, but it's lovely. All right, my last 2, I won't speak too much about these because I actually only got these in the last couple of days. First one is the new Francesca Bianchi Sticky Fingers. Boy oh boy, Patchouli. leather and her signature orris. I love it. And the last one, most recent acquisition, purely because it only arrived in the mail yesterday, is Mem by Bogue Profumo. I had originally thought that I would like Mai first, but when I smelled this and compared it to Mai, I'm a bit mesmerized by this scent. Yes, you know, on face value, it's all lavender, but when it develops on your skin, like I know Thomas from Stumptown Smells mentioned to me that, you know, he's known it for a long time and still finding it difficult to work out. It's very, very complex. But if you want a great review on this fragrance, definitely check out Wafts from the Loft review of Mem by Bogue. Okay, so that is my haul for 2020 so far. I have no intentions of getting anywhere near this amount of new bottles for the second half of the year. I really, really need to get rid of some. It's just a matter of picking which ones. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I'd love to hear about how many bottles and what bottles you've added to your collections this year. It's always fun to talk about, and I will see you all soon. Bye.